Good evening, everyone. My name is Bindu Zachariah George. Today, we're going to discuss about the topic of agency, which is part of the contract book 2, part of the second semester LLB course of KSLU. Right now, I am doing the same course. I am part of the first year, doing my second semester. We are yet to write our exams. Now, let's look at this topic. While discussing this topic, we will also discuss the elements of an agency. We will look at the different types of agents. We will also look at how an agency is formed. Now, the essential contract the sections are 182 to 238 of the Indian Contract Act 1872. Now, the creation of an agency, you will have to check for section 186, which is agency by express agreement, section 187, which is agency by implied agreement. Let's also look at the various factors which leads to the creation of an agency. If you have to look at the definition, when a person is appointed to act on behalf of another, he is called as an agent, and that is the formation of an agency. The person who appoints such a person is called the principal. The other person who is appointed to take care of the job is called as a agent. Now, the contract is between these two, that is the principal and the agent, and that is known as the agency. Now, let's also look at the fact that the agency is a legal relationship between the agent and the principal. That is, if, for example, if A appoints B to buy some property on his behalf, here A is the principal and B becomes the agent. The relationship between A and B is called as the agency. Now, if you want to look at the sections for this, section 182 of the Indian Contract Act defines agent and principal as follows. An agent is a person employed to do any act for another or to represent another in dealings with third persons. The person for whom such act is done or who is so represented is known as the principal. Who may employ an agent? This is as per section 183. Section 183 says that any person who is of the age of majority, according to the law to which he is subject, and who is of sound mind may employ an agent. In other words, any person who is a major and is of sound mind may appoint an agent. Now, who can be an agent? This is as per section 184 of the Indian Contracts Act 1872. Let's look at who can become an agent. As between the principal and third person, any person may become an agent, but no person who is not of the age of majority and who does not have sound mind cannot become an agent. So these two conditions are specified so as to be responsible to the principal according to the provisions in that behalf herein contained. Now, one of the factors that we have to look at is during the process of learning about contracts, we have understood the importance of consideration. However, the point of consideration is not mentioned in agency. Now, section 185 lays down that consideration is not necessary for creation of an agency. So, this is an important point that we will have to remember. Knowledge of the agent is the knowledge of the principal, is the basis for the appointment of an agent. So this is a crucial factor that we have to keep in mind because he is acting on behalf of the principal, he is representing him, and he has to contain the required knowledge to carry forward the business for his principal. Now let's look at the essential elements of agency. We have already discussed that. I'm going to sum it up again. Section 183, principal must be competent to contract. Section 184, any person may become an agent. Section 185, consideration is not necessary. Now, let's look at the kinds of agents. The different kinds of agents are Delcredier agents. Delcredier agent is an agent who is this is an agency which is established between the principal and a third person. He is not answerable to his principal for the failure of the third person to perform the contract. A del crede agent constitutes an exception to this rule. A del crede agent is a mercantile agent who, for extra commission, takes the responsibility of that person with whom he contracts on behalf of the principal will perform their contract. That is, if such a person fails to perform his contract, a del crede agent will be responsible to the principal for the same. The second one is the Pakka Adatya. Now, the Pakka Adatya is an agent to whom the goods are handed over by the principal. And then the actual sale of the goods between the agent's own affair. Such an agent, generally you will find these people in the Mumbai markets. A Pakka Adatya enters into transactions in his own name. Here he undertakes the business of his principal, but the transaction or contracts he enters into are his own affairs. Here, in certain aspects, a Pakka Adatya may be taken to be a principal, in that he can allocate the transaction to himself and can buy and sell to his constituent as a principal. So there is a slight difference here. He can act as the principal in his own right. So this is a factor that we need to remember. Now, the third one that we have to remember is a factor. A factor is a mercantile agent who is entrusted with the possession of the goods for the purpose of sale. He has the power to sell these goods on credit and also to receive the prices from the buyer. If the owner has put a factor in possession of the goods or the document of title, but without authorizing him to sell the goods, now the sale of the goods by him will convey a good title to a bona fide buyer. So this is what we mean by a factor. Now let's look at who a broker is. A broker is a person who has an authority to negotiate the sale or purchase of goods on behalf of his principal. He can do this with a third person. Unlike a factor, he himself has no possession of the goods. He merely makes the two parties to enter into a contract. He gets his commission whenever any transaction materializes only because of his efforts. Now, who are auctioneers? We have heard about auctions. Let's look at how an auctioneer also becomes an agent. An auctioneer is an agent to sell property at auctions. And most of the time, these auctions are public affair. He is primarily an agent for the seller, but upon the property being knocked down, he becomes also the agent of the buyer. Here, if the owner of the goods puts him in possession of the goods, although the authority to sell has not been conferred to him, a buyer in good faith from such an auctioneer will get a good title in respect of the goods that he has purchased. So this is how we could consider an auctioneer also as an agent. Let's also look at the fact that an agency, like we already discussed at the beginning, an agency can be entered into by express agreement. It can also be by an implied agreement, and that is as per section 186 and section 187. I would like to sum up by saying an agent is a person who works on behalf of another, having been given and assumed some degree of authority to do so. And most organized human activity and virtually all commercial activities is carried on through an agency. For this, a classic example would be if GM Motors, that is General Motors, decides to operate out of China, you wouldn't go directly to GM, but would be operating through an agent appointed by them. So any transaction that happens would be through that agent. So this is a classic example of how agencies are formed and how generally corporates also operate majorly through agencies. Thank you very much. I hope you have been able to understand the gist of what an agency means. Like I always maintain, I am just a student and this is from a student perspective. Thank you very much. I hope you like the session.